Okay, so let's unpack this. I've got a whole stack of Italian music journalism in front of me.
Mm.
We're doing a deep dive into the hard rock scene today, specifically focusing on, well, the seventh studio album from this Italian band, Hell in the Club.
The album is called Joker in the Pack, released in 2025.
And this isn't just a standard album review, is it? Our whole mission here is to look at one of the most audacious moves any band can make.
Right. Replacing your longtime founding frontman.
Exactly. For something like 15 years, Hell in the Club was, completely linked to the voice of Dave Morris. But he stepped away for personal reasons.
Instead of just calling it quits, they brought in a whole new voice, a new presence.
Right.
Really a new identity. A Swedish singer named THB Persson.
And what makes this so fascinating and why we're digging into it is that the sources we have from Heavy Metal Webzine, Metal Hammer Italia, melodicrock.it, and Metallis.it, they are all just overwhelmingly positive.
Completely unified in their praise. They all confirm this new lineup. Tetsi on voice, Pico on guitar, Andy on bass, and Mark on drums has created this major turning point. And everyone agrees it was a success.
When I first heard the news that a founding singer of 15 years was being replaced, my first thought was skepticism. I expected critics to be hostile even.
Of course.
So how do they pull this off?
Well, that's the starting point, isn't it? The sources all acknowledge the size of that risk. I mean, one reviewer from Metal Hammer Italia put it perfectly, I think.
What'd they say?
They said, cambiare voce in una band significa inevitabilmente cambiare identità. Changing the voice of a band inevitably means changing its identity. There's just no getting around that fact.
Right, you can't escape it. So if the identity has to shift, how did they manage to not, alienate their entire fan base?
By keeping the continuity where it mattered most. The sources make a big point of saying this was an amicable split, and crucially, Dave Morris is still an active songwriter for the band.
Oh, that's huge.
It is. It allowed them to have this massive vocal evolution with Tetsi while keeping the core songwriting vision and the lyrical foundation basically intact. It really smoothed things over.
And the choice of THB Persson, who people might know from Infinite and Divine or Venus 5, that was the big gamble that paid off.
Absolutely. The move is described across the board as coraggiosa e a conti fatti vincente.
Courageous
and ultimately successful. They knew the identity shift was coming, and they picked a singer with a personality strong enough to carry that weight.
Okay, and this is where it gets really interesting for me, because this isn't just a personnel change. It's a strategic move. The sources see this as a way to massively boost their international appeal.
Yes, this is the genius of it. They're no longer just an Italian hard rock band.
Right.
The Italian reviews are now consistently calling them an hard rock heavy metal Italo-Svedese band. An Italo-Swedish band.
Which, just by adding a Scandinavian frontwoman, gives them this undeniable European character.
It does. For anyone who follows the scene, you'll know that Sweden and Scandinavia are sort of the modern home for high-quality melodic rock. There's a built-in reputation there for pristine production and sharp songwriting.
So by bringing Tetsi in, they're tapping right into that respected lineage.
Exactly. And their label, Frontiers Records, is known for fostering these kinds of international collaborations. This was about opening new horizons, not just, filling a vacancy.
Okay, so let's move from the strategy to the sound itself.
Yeah.
Because that's why the album is actually working. They've kept their roots in a really specific sonic world. We're talking hard rock, glam, sleazy, street rock.
A very specific, almost nostalgic target. And the sources celebrate that aesthetic. The descriptions they use tie the sound directly to the genre's golden age. Heavy Metal Webzine actually said, Il combo italiano trasporta con il proprio sound direttamente alla mitica musica ottantiana della stupenda Los Angeles.
Wow, that's a statement. So the Italian combo transports, with its sound, directly to the mythical 80s music of stunning Los Angeles.
Right. It's not just a comparison. It's basically saying this album is a time machine for anyone who loves that era.
And it creates that atmosphere, but the sources are also really clear that it doesn't sound dated. They use words like fresh and immediate.
Yeah, and a huge part of that is the production quality, which gets praised constantly.
The name Simone Mulleroni from DGM comes up, working at Domination Studio. Why is he so important here?
Well, Mulleroni is a master at balancing power with clarity. That classic 80s glam sound, it was energetic, but let's be honest, it could be a bit muddy.
A little compressed.
Exactly. It was analog rock. But Mulroney provides these clear and modern sounds to the guitars and what they call the roaring rhythmic section. So you get all the attitude of the Sunset Strip, but with the punch of a 2025 recording.
So you get the 80s swagger without the 80s muddiness.
That's it, perfectly. And it lets the musicians really shine through. The sources point out Marco Lazzarini drumming, saying it adds this dynamic quality that you feel more than you notice. It's the Enger.
And the guitar work from Pico.
Metalis. It says his solos arrive always at the right moment without dragging on beyond what is due. It shows a lot of maturity and restraint, especially for a band known for being so high energy.
Okay, so they've nailed the sound. Let's talk about how the new voice, Tetsi Person, actually fits into that landscape. Does she just conform, or does she elevate it?
Oh, she elevates it. The sources see her as a commanding force, not just a vocalist. We're back to that identity shift. She's seen as an enhancement, not a replacement.
That's a huge distinction to make.
It is melodic rock. It praises her for her power and her passion, but also her range. She can handle these beautiful melodic lines and then turn around and deliver these gritty and robust interpretations.
And it goes beyond just her voice. Heavy Metal Webzine calls her a vero animale da palco.
A true stage animal.
Right. Capable of involving the whole audience with her charisma. You get the feeling that the live show is a whole new experience now.
And that charisma feeds into what the sources call her modern edge. It's not about changing the music style. It's about her authority. Metalis describes her as being tosto ed autorevole.
Tough and authoritative.
Exactly. She takes control. And, importantly, she was an active participant in the writing and construction of the album's sound.
So she's not just an interpreter, she's an author. That modern edge is more about her personality and her ownership of the material.
Precisely. She brings this fierce, contemporary female energy to a genre that's been, historically dominated by male frontmen, and the critics find it refreshing.
Before we dive into the tracks, though, let's just touch on the stability of the other members.
Yeah.
There's a specific call-out for the bass player.
Yes, this is important. It shows the foundation is solid. Metalis. It calls the track Out in the Distance, a Festival del Basso, a bass festival. It's a shout-out to Andy Brado's work, showing that the core instrumental muscle of the band is as strong as ever.
Okay, now let's get into the tracks, where all these pieces come together. The album opener gets a lot of attention.
It does. Right out of the gate, The Devil Won't Forget Me is called an inno immediato, an immediate anthem. Metal Hammer Italia says it's pure hell in the club, and they immediately point to the Swedes' brazen and husky throat.
Setting the tone from the very first line.
It demands your attention, and that energy just flows right into the second track, New Desire, which picks up the pace. This album does not waste any time.
But it's not just a party album, is it? There's some real thematic contrast here.
That's what gives it that authoritative feeling. They can be fun, but they also tackle serious topics. The track Magnetars, for instance, gets praised by Metalis.it for dealing with Roba Syria ed Atruali, serious and current stuff. It gives the album an unexpected depth.
And then you have tracks that just lean right into the grit. Pretty Little Freak Show is described as an Olato rock and blues.
A yelled rock and blues. It's got that rough, proud American attitude. Think someone like Dorothy Martin is just unapologetic swagger.
And the track Dirty Love goes even deeper lyrically.
It does. It's a great 80s homage, but one of the reviewers caught this incredible line. A piece of dialogue. Dirty Love. Hey, Mr. Loki.
A conversation with the god of deception.
A literal dialogue with the Lord of Deceptions, yeah. It just elevates the track beyond your standard hard rock lyrics. And the intensity of that song. One of the collaborators at melodicrock.it had this quote that I just have to share.
Go for it.
She said, Le chitarre non suonano, lasceranno, sono un vortice sonoro di follia e paura.
The guitars do not play, they lacerate. They are a sonic vortex of madness and fear.
I mean, come on, that tells you everything. Mulroney's clear production didn't sanitize the music. It just made the aggression sharper.
It made it hit harder.
Precisely.
So from that vortex of madness and fear, we have to talk about the inevitable ballad. Every great hard rock act needs one. Here, it's The Ocean.
And The Ocean is described as intense and melancholic. One reviewer even picked it as their personal favorite track on the whole album.
Which says a lot for a band known for its fast songs.
It really does. It highlights this melancholic introspective side of the band that Tetsu really allows them to explore, and it's a perfect showcase for her full range. Her voice is sweet, high-pitched, and it just guides the whole melody with these beautiful piano and keyboard parts.
She can do the gritty and the heartbreaking.
She can do it all, and that range across the whole album proves this lineup is built for the long haul. They've got the sleaze, the seriousness, and the power ballad all covered.
So when we boil it all down, after going through these 4 Italian sources,
Mm.
all laser-focused on this monumental change,
Mm.
what's the final verdict on Joker in the Pack?
It's unequivocal. The album is solid, it's authoritative, and it's brilliantly executed. They didn't reinvent their sound, but they restarted where they left off, and they won the huge gamble on their new vocalist. They sound tighter, more inspired, and now they're internationally validated.
There's one final quote from Metallica that I think just perfectly sums up this whole discussion about honoring the past while building a future.
I think I know the one you mean.
Il disco appare semplicemente perfetto per onorare una rispettabile carriera, aprendo al tempo stesso orizzonti e possibilità.
The album appears simply perfect for honoring a respectable career while simultaneously opening horizons and possibilities. That's it. That's the result of their audacious move. It honored 15 years of history while paving a clear path to the future.
That story of calculated risk leading to this kind of reward, it really makes you think.
It absolutely should, and it raises a provocative question for you, the listener. If a band can change a core piece of its identity after 15 years, let go of what defined them, and find this level of critical acclaim and a new prosperous future, well, what major change, what audacious move are you holding back from just because it means letting go of the past? Maybe it's time to find your own Joker in the pack.
I wasn't lying, I wasn't sure.